everybody. Welcome to a bonus episode of the Barley, Hops, and Yarn podcast. My name is Jennifer. I am the face behind Barley, Hops, and Yarn. This is PJ. You probably won't see his face, but he's my newest offspring. Not really sure if you can hear him cooing or not. You probably can, but if you can and you don't like it, sorry, question mark. He doesn't want to be put down right now, and I have to record because I am on a tight schedule. Anyway, the reason this is a bonus episode, I should probably say that this is a fiber podcast. Lately, I've been doing videos of finished objects that I've recently finished and kind of reviewing the pattern. Sometimes I'll do regular finished object whip, life update, other stuff podcasts. Sometimes I'll show off yarns that I've dyed, etc., etc. But this is a bonus episode because we're going to do a vlog of Maryland Sheep and Wool and Yarncentrick because it's Maryland Sheep and Wool weekend. So I am being very selective with my purchases this year as I do have a stash that I'd like to work through. My stash isn't super huge, but it's larger than I am comfortable with. So I'm trying not to add to my stash unless there is a need to acquire the yarn for a particular reason, which we'll get to in a little bit. Or if it's just something I absolutely must have because I love it. Little dude, look out the window. You'll be happy. Okay. Hi. Yeah. Anyway, on to podcasting. So today is May 1st. Today is Yarncentrick, which is a pop-up one-day show that happens the day before Maryland Sheep and Wool in Frederick, Maryland. It is a timed ticketed event, so I believe there are 4 entry times. The first 3 are paid for and the cost goes down as the day goes on. And I know at least with the first entry time, which is 9 a.m., there's also a little goodie bag you get with it as well. The last entry time, which is from 3 to 4, is free, so that is the one I will be doing since I'm not specifically going to make purchases. I'm just going because it is fiery goodness. I didn't really want to pay for a ticket to go in earlier. I know that part of the benefit of being able to go earlier is that things aren't going to sell out. Since I don't have a list of things I need to get, that's not really a concern for me. So, and then that's today, and then tomorrow and Sunday, although I'm not going on Sunday, is Maryland Sheep and Wool. Generally, I hang out with a couple fibery friends for the day. I don't usually go first thing in the morning just because 1, I live 15 minutes away, so there's not a need to. And 2, I'm not dealing with all that traffic when I live 15 minutes away. Why am I going to sit in the car for an hour waiting to get into the parking lot when I can sit at home? And then 45 minutes after that, when there's a lot less traffic trying to get into the parking lot, I can leave the comfort of my home and go hang out. Benefits of living so close. I am forever grateful for that. That's honestly one of the biggest perks that I say in the spring is I live 15 minutes from Maryland Sheep and Wool. Anyway, all that being said, let's get into my plan for the weekend. So family event for Yarncentrick this afternoon. My daughter is not coming with us just because she'll still be in school, and I see no reason to pull her out early just to come to a fiber event where she's going to want to touch everything and won't be able to. Little dude will be coming, and then my partner will be coming with me as well. Then tomorrow I'll have the whole family. We'll bring a blanket, we'll bring a couple lawn chairs, we'll bring snacks with us, and we'll just kind of take our time going through the festival and hanging out. Like I said, I'm not really buying yarn too much right now, as long as I can get away with not buying too much yarn. I do have 2 specific purchases in mind. 2 specific yarn purchases in mind. Number 1 is a family friend, well, a friend of my mother-in-law's. I've never met this person, but I suppose she's technically a family friend. Knit this cute little jacket for my daughter. And it fits her very well right now. It's a little bit oversized, but she'll be able to wear it for quite a while, except for the hood. The hood is really, really, really small, and doesn't actually fit over my daughter's head. So I am hoping to be able to find a yarn that nicely matches this so that I don't have to dye it myself because I don't feel like it. A yarn that nicely matches this so that I can take the hood off, re-knit it larger, reattach it, and then we might be able to be a little Red Riding Hood for Halloween. So planning ahead on that one. But that is yarn purchase number 1 that I'm specifically looking for. I'm specifically looking for a red, like worsted weight yarn so that like texture wise sort of matches. I have no idea what this is made of. I don't know, I keep going back and forth between acrylic and wool because honestly, like I said, I can't tell. It's pilling like a wool, but it's feeling, in my opinion, like an acrylic. So I'll probably like pass it around to some people and be like, what do you think this is made of? And see if I can get a consensus on that. Not that ultimately it really matters that much. I really just want a color match as best as I can and a weight match as best as I can so that I can knit the hood and have it look cohesive. Thing number 2 that I am looking for, and this is still up for debate a little bit on what I'm going to do, but I'm signed up to do a test knit for Devin, is the Evangeline blouse, and it is a designed blouse that's meant to be like maternity, postpartum, breastfeeding friendly. Little dude is being breastfed, so having another top that it's easy to get access in will be nice. It's calling for, she knit hers in lace weight held double. So for yarn choice, she's suggesting either lace weight held double or a sport weight. I, in my mind, was like, oh, I have the perfect yarn for this already. I have that. This is one of my yarns that's in stash that I know I specifically would like to knit this year if I'm able to. And it's a Madeline Tosh. I got it for cheap because one of my local yarn stores was going out of business, and so had these on sale. The colorway is Frontier Stars and it's Tosh Merino Light, so 100% superwash merino, 420 yards for 100 grams. Based on that, because I like knew those schematics in my head, based on that I thought it was going to be at least like a little bit of a heavier fingering, because my base that I carry, of course now I can't think of it. You would think that I'd know off the top of my head, but I'm gonna blame pregnancy brain on this one. The base I carry, I want to say is 463 yards, but I could be wrong on that. I'll put a thing in, I'll make a note. Anyway, all that to say, I thought this was going to be like a little bit of a thicker fingering just based on the yardage, but it is not. It is actually like decently close to a lace weight when you do the wraps per inch. So I was like, okay, now that I know that, and I don't have enough to hold this double. I'm just shy of being able to hold it double and having enough yarn. So based on that, I was like, all right, I have a couple of options. I have a I have a mohair in stash that I could try to like hold double with it, except I would need to get a second skein of it because I don't have enough, and the vendor that makes that is going to be at, hi buddy, is going to be at Yarncentrick today, so let me swatch for that. I could hold this with my fingering and just an undyed base to have a neutral and see how that goes, or I could, as long as I get gauge, hold this single and see what happens. So I did gauge swatch, which I know is amazing because I'm me and I don't gauge swatch. This is held single. This is held with the bare yarn. That's just my fingering. And then this is held with the mohair I had in stash, which was by Wool and Vinyl. So I think I've decided that I like the fabric of this one the best, and the way it drapes and the meh of it. Oh, it's a cute face. I like this one as well, but I don't like how, of course, now that it's in the light like this, you can't see it, but I don't like how see-through it is. Like, I can completely see everything on my screen right now. I don't know how well you can see through that, but like I can see through this very clearly when I hold it up to my eyesight, but I do like how that looks. But I think the happy medium is going to be, I like this look. I like how the little bit of color is popping through while holding the bare yarn with it, but I don't like the fabric of it. It's too heavy, and I don't want anything too heavy because somebody runs very hot, and so if I have something too heavy, then we're just both gonna wind up covered in sweat. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is get a white, bare, or maybe light blue, like really, really pale blue, because I don't know if you can tell in this lighting, but like this has just the tiniest brush of blue in it, to hold that, so that I'm getting this fabric but more of this color. I think that's what we're... Yeah, buddy, you got a lot to say. What do you want to tell the people? Do you have an opinion on the colors? Okay, so I think that's ultimately what I'm gonna wind up doing, but obviously that's just gonna end up depending on what is available vendor wise. So I'm open to getting either mohair, silk, or Surrey, as long as it's lace weight, just because all three are kind of, I think all three would give me a similar kind of drapiness texture and still give me the halo and everything. But we shall see. So that is a almost 12-minute long intro now to start off this vlog weekend, but I will see you at Yarncentrick. So it is the evening on May 1st. We went to Yarncentrick and I had some success. Yarn Jam came through. So this is their Surrey Halo, and I will be holding it double with that, trying to not cover my mouth, with that Mad Tosh that I showed you guys earlier. So this is Surrey Halo, which is 65% baby Surrey alpaca, 35% silk, 437 yards and 50 grams in the colorway Seafoam. I picked up 2 skeins of this. I can order a third if I need it, but hopefully I won't. I'm very excited to see how these two play together. I think it'll go very, very well. I did not have success with the red yarn for that sweater, but that's okay. We got a couple ideas. We got a couple like close enough if we need tos, but hopefully tomorrow at Maryland Sheep Wool we will find a good amount. I also stopped by Camp Stitchwood, because how can you not stop by Camp Stitchwood? And I got a couple of stickers. So I have a couple like small spots on one of my water bottles left that I don't know what else to put there, but I got this. Are you gonna focus? Maybe? Please? There we go. Swatch Skipper, because we all know that be me. And then this cute little honeycomb bumblebee yarn stickers. And then, I'm gonna zoom back in on me. There we go. I got a mystery pack. So I have not opened it yet. It is still sealed. We're gonna see what's in here together, if I can get it open. All right. We have, we have one of their national parks. I don't know which one it is, but it's one of their national parks as a sticker. This is cute. We got butterfly on a coneflower. And then we have some pins, it looks like. Yeah, all right. local yarn shop regular. And then, I debated getting this as a mini sticker too, Frog Queen. And a little acorn stitch marker. Yay. So happy with my little mystery pack there. 5 items, slight imperfections. I could not tell you what those imperfections are, so they are very slight, but successful day at Yarncentrick. We'll try again tomorrow at Maryland Sheep and Wool. Monday, May 4th in the morning. Maryland Sheep and Wool weekend is over. I am tired, but let me tell you how it went. I will start by saying I did not buy anything, which is not entirely true. I did buy 2 items. They are not related to knitting, wool, fiber, anything at all, but they are gifts for my mom, so I can't show them on the chance that she watches this. Also, I'm in my I'd rather be knitting sweater, which is my new favorite thing. Anyway, not the point. How the day went. So we left our house at like 11:15ish, got to the fairgrounds around 11:30, 11:35, or I should say that's when we hit traffic, because unfortunately, even though we left later in the day, we still hit traffic to get in. So it took us probably a good like 25-30 minutes to sit in that line to get into the fairgrounds, and we had to park in the overflow parking, which was a trek because we had, I mean, a lot of other people had this as well. It's not like our experience was especially unique because it just kind of is what it is. But we had the wagon, we had chairs to sit in, we had a lunchbox with snack, we had a bag that had like our picnic blanket and snacks that didn't need to be kept cool. I had a bag of knitting, we had a toddler and a baby carrier because I wore the toddler part of the day. So we just had stuff because we were hanging out all day. So we had to trek all the way from the back end of the overflow parking to the fairgrounds and got in. Yeah, I guess by the time we got in, it was around 12:30ish because we had to sit in the car for a while to get to our parking spot. And then we had to make the trek with the little ones. And it turned into a nature walk for my toddler, who is really into rocks right now. and she can't differentiate asphalt between rocks, so there's a lot of like trying to pry asphalt out of the ground, which doesn't work well, and it's kind of, you know, is what it is. But we got in, we got set up, we hung out pretty much the entire time with Aquila and Johnny from A Lefty Knitter podcast, if you know them. And yeah, just spent the day hanging out. Aquila took my daughter to go check out some sheep, which I really appreciated. Johnny took the baby for a good part of the time, so we could just kind of exist and hang out without having to worry about the kids. Walked around looked at all the sheep, went and saw the, my brain is not working. The dogs. Sheep herding. Went and saw the border collies doing sheep herding. I tried to bring my daughter with me because she normally really likes that type of stuff, but I'm like, Eleanor, do you want to go see doggies? And she said no multiple times, so I just went and watched the doggies by myself, which is fine. And then I did do kind of one loop around everything and looked around, but practiced self-restraint, and like I said, only bought 2 items, which ended up being gifts from my mom. Now, the goal was to find red yarn that matched that sweater that I showed y'all at the beginning of this episode. Well, somebody forgot the red sweater at home. So we debated going back on Sunday with the sweater so that we could try to yarn match, and wound up not doing that, which is totally fine because I was just so exhausted. By the end of the day, I had almost 12,000 steps. I am only 8 weeks out at that point. I guess almost 9, but like between 8 and 9 weeks out from having a C-section. And that is the most amount of physical activity I have done in one day since then. And on the way back to the car, I had to carry my daughter in the baby wrap carrier thing because she was just so exhausted. There was no way she was going to walk back on her own. So I had basically a 35-pound weighted vest, had to walk all the way from the kind of main exhibit hall, the main barn of the fairgrounds, to the back end of the overflow parking. And my body hurt by the time I was done with that. So I spent all of yesterday just kind of existing and recovering. But yeah, after we left the festival, we left at about 4. By the time we got back to the car, it was like 4:30ish. So we spent a good technically 5 hours there total by the time we like got into the line to get to the parking lot to the time that we got into the car to leave. And then after that, we went to a local ice cream place that was having their cruise night. So there were a bunch of like cool cars, muscle cars, classic old cars. I don't know. I'm not a car person, but it was fun to see a whole bunch of people excited about their cars while eating ice cream. And then went home and basically just existed for the rest of the day. I did cast on my new test knit, which I am excited about. But yesterday, especially, PJ did not want to be put down at all. He was like, I need to contact nap all day and I need to cluster feed. So it really was just very much a day of rest and recovery yesterday, which is why I did not get to record this little snippet until now. But yeah, 10 out of 10. Always will recommend going to Maryland Sheep and Wool. I love it so much. Even if you don't buy anything, it's fun to just hang out, look at all the shops, see what everybody is wearing, purchases they've made, and just kind of have a day or a weekend of happy fibery goodness. So thanks for coming along with me for this bonus episode of Maryland Sheep and Wool Weekend. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, of course, I would appreciate a like, comment, subscribe. If you don't, I'm surprised you're still watching at this point, but hey, cool. I'm not going to argue with the view. But with that, I'll see you at the next episode. Bye.